So when you're talking about ways to soothe the brain, what comes to mind is like meditation or mindfulness. Those two words, I think they can get a little confusing sometimes. Could you maybe explain the difference between meditation and mindfulness?
Yeah, sure. So mindfulness, I always look at it is you can do anywhere. So you're being present to the current moment and you're engaged and trying to be present. So like for right now, I could say, name 3 colors that you see right now. And as you're looking at me on the screen, I could say, name 3 colors. I could say, as you're sitting, what's the texture of the chair you're sitting on? Pay attention to that. I could say, if you were eating something, what's it taste like in your mouth? Or how's your hat feeling on your head? And that would be engaging in mindfulness because you're zooming in on the present moment and paying attention to it. Whereas meditation, you use mindfulness in meditation, but meditation is a practice. It's a structured practice, whether it's walking meditation. So you're using the components of it, but you are engaging in it. And then also I think mindfulness, I always think about it as like, I'm zooming in on the moment. And with meditation, I'm zooming in on my breath and trying to watch the rest of it kind of float past me. I don't think I described that all that well, but hopefully, I mean, I'm happy to clarify. Did that
I
make
think
sense?
that makes sense to me. How those would be kind of interchangeable or brother and sister ways of looking at things. Mindfulness being the awareness, and meditation being the practice of that awareness. Maybe is that a way to look at it?
You said it much better than me, and I've been practicing this and teaching it for 20 years. But it's what happens
So,
on a Saturday.
as many people do start to reflect inward, do you have any advice on how meditation and mindfulness can help us in our lives during the pandemic?
How much time do we have? It is my favorite thing probably to talk to people about in almost probably the 20 years I've been working clinically. I guess this upcoming year will be 19 years I've been practicing in some form clinically. I would say that mindfulness and meditation, especially cultivating a meditation practice, is the only magic pill I've seen that works for most people if they can engage. My favorite app for people to learn how to do it where it's tolerable, because even though it feels good for the body, we just resist. I've had a practice, I've been doing this, like I said, for this long, and I will resist my own meditation. When we're busy or we're not busy, there's just something about it that most people kind of swat away. Like we just don't naturally always move towards it. And so what I like is this app called Headspace. And if and I believe this is ongoing, if you're like a medical provider, it's free for you right now. And I believe they're also lowering the cost, but the first 10 sessions are free. And it teaches people how to meditate, and he describes it, and it's only like 5 minutes and then 10 minutes. So people's brains can tolerate that process, and he walks you through it. And I find that my patients really respond well to the Headspace app. It's been one of my favorites to use. But that wasn't exactly your question, was it? You asked me how it can be used?
Well,
Wait.
just how it benefits us in quarantine, I guess, is a good way to look at what are some of the ways that those mindfulness and meditation are helpful.
Okay, yeah. So I went on to let's just start. Let's do this. And why is it helpful? Okay, so there was a huge Harvard happiness study. And what they did, I forget the amount of participants that they used, but it was a very large, like a mega study. And what they evaluated where people's brains were at. And what they found is that no matter where you were at, like even if you were not in quarantine, you were at like the most epic, life-changing, fun event of your life, that people's brains were either ahead, maybe thinking about what they were going to do next, or behind, thinking about what was behind. And what they found is that people are not happy. The people that were the most content, like 47%, I think, were either ahead or behind. And the people that were most content were the ones that were in the present moment. So what meditation teaches you is how to be engaged mindfully in the present moment. So there's this piece, right? It's like mindlessness. Have you ever like driven home and not realized you got home? Or
Totally.
opened up a candy
All the time.
bar and before you knew it, it was gone? That's like mindlessness. And there's something about that can be nice, but it's like brain chatter. It shows that it actually makes us not as well. We don't feel as content because it's mindlessness and there's all this chatter going on and we're not engaged. But when we're engaged, we just feel more aligned. We feel more well. And research is showing that. And so meditation has shown that it changes, big studies, fMRI studies, it changes your brain structures. It increases your attention, your focus, your ability to process emotion. It makes, if you're in therapy, it makes your brain really responsive to what you're trying to build and change. All of these Fortune 500 companies have started beginning like meetings with a little bit of meditation. Why? Because it increases productivity. It makes you smarter and better. If you're in quarantine, I would recommend it at any time. Clearly, I'm passionate about this topic because it gives you more sense of wellness and a control over your life, rather than 47% of people having to be ahead or behind. Can we be engaged in what we're doing so that we can be a little bit more well?
That makes so much sense right now too, when it's hard not to think about the past or the future, because we're either thinking about, man, it was so great when we could go out to restaurants and just drink a beer and say hi to your neighbor, or the future, like, when are we going to get back to going to restaurants and drinking beer and talking to our neighbors? And so, yeah, I can see how being present would be more helpful to kind of adapt to that situation. And something I've definitely tried to work on myself too.